a lot of it is nostalgia, and that could be a problem that could be blamed on us millennials because we do like our era. We think our era is the best era because a lot of the best things came out in that era. And so the story behind this, I went to Walmart, was there to get some groceries. I was like, hey, let me go get some, see if they have any Pokemon cards. So I go there, first one over there. So I'm looking through what they have. They had a couple of tins. They had the Pokeball tins. They had these tins. They had some, I don't even know what kind of packs you would call them, the ones that come with like 60 sleeves. I'm looking through the stuff. I was over there for like 2 minutes, and then around the corner comes a mom and her sons, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna step back. So I stepped back and I let them kind of have fun and looking. Her looked like her kids were trying to decide on which ones they wanted to get, and it was a good experience because I feel like that's what it's meant to be. It's for the kids, and the kids need to be able to experience this hobby. And I feel like with the current state of things, a lot of the fun aspects of this hobby have been kind of dwindled down to mere consumerism, to where kids aren't even having a chance to enjoy these things. Welcome to another episode of your favorite game show, Gambling for Children. Kinda, but we're going to talk about more of the things that are wrong with the Pokemon hobby, but not just the Pokemon hobby, but just kind of the state of hobbies in general. Hobbies are expensive no matter where you go, and we're going to just touch base on a lot of those things. So my name is Crash Collision, aka Malcolm Eugene, and we're just going to dive on into this, so let's get into it. No gloves today. We're just going to be straight raw fingers. These are my finger licking good special. Like I mentioned before, when I got that 10, there was a family going up and they were looking for cards. I'm not going to assume it was like for a birthday, but they were shopping and they wanted some. So I just took a step back because I'm a grown ass adult and I don't need this shit. It's fun to do. It's fun to do on stream. I love doing it, but it's not like I do this for me. And I think that's the difference between like collectors and scalpers, because scalpers do this shit to sell. When I'm collecting stuff, I'm getting the cards that I like. And I'm getting the cards that I want to keep in my collection and get graded and, just keep for myself because I think they're cool. But, just a big problem in a lot of hobbies now is straight up consumerism. So at the beginning of the year, I built my first PC. When the 5090s and the 5080s come out, those were the big items being scalped. At that particular point in time, people were buying them up. You weren't able to get them on Best Buy or anywhere. I was lucky to even be able to get mine. I could have sold it for double what I paid for it, but the point of me buying the graphics card was for me to complete my PC build. It was not to sell it. So when I look at people who are going out and buying like cards and things, you're doing it for your collection or you're doing it to play the game. I think that's great. I think that's awesome. But when we're doing things to go out there and try to just flip it, I think that's what destroys a lot of these hobbies. It destroys a lot of these things. And a lot of that comes from a lot of the influencers in the space. When you think about it, when's the last time you saw a Pokémon TCG commercial? Maybe for TCG Pocket when they were promoting the app, but for an actual TCG new release, when's the last time you seen a Pokemon TCG commercial? They don't need it. They have influencers who they'll send a product out to these influencers to go out and push it and push out reviews on YouTube. And it's not just Pokemon. It's everything. Everything. Because we live in such a consumeristic culture. This is capitalism. So they're trying to make their money the best way that they can. With the influencers going out there and promoting product, it's creating FOMO amongst all of us because we feel like, oh yeah, there's not going to be things, and then they get on there and they'll read articles or fabricate articles maybe, and it's like allegedly, it's not 100% true, but let's say they'll fabricate articles saying, oh, there's going to be a shortage on this new set that's coming out, and if you don't get it on release day, then don't think about getting it any other day. It's crazy, it's trash, and I think we could do way better than that. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, like, this has been around forever. Back in the 90s, a lot of people don't know about like Tickle Me Elmo, but people did this for Tickle Me Elmo. People go out and buy all the Tickle Me Elmos. and put them on layaway. And I just probably aged myself, but yeah, Walmart used to have layaway. That's basically what kids now call buy now, pay later. That's the same concept. That is not new. Tickle Me Elmos, Beanie Babies back in the day, this has always been a thing. It's always been a demand versus supply thing. It's just this weird thing, a way for people to make a quick buck. And I've actually had conversations with a few scalpers. They operate like Team Rocket. It's legitimate. Like there are discords that track stock statuses. There are people who have group chats that'll track different locations. So basically, they'll have people in different parts of the city. They'll get out there and they will go to these stores, and then they will get in the group chat and say, hey, this Walgreens has this, or this Walmart has this, or whatever it may be. It's legitimately mafia style work, and it's crazy. And for this, man, for these, one of the big things and why I think Pokemon has become more of a become more of a resurgence, and this is kind of becoming the same with Digimon too. A lot of it is nostalgia, and that could be a problem that could be blamed on us millennials, because we do like our era. We think our era is the best era because a lot of the best things came out in that era, and a lot of things that we have from that area are worth a lot of money now. So we know that the mindset of, if we would have known back then, we could have started not necessarily collecting more back then, but we could have taken better advantage or even taken better care of our cards back then. So now we're in this mind state of, if this is what it's going to be, and this is what it's going to be for the new generation, Gen Z and so forth. So we're taking this idea of what we wish we could have done and doing it now to products that are coming out and existing now, just so we can make a quick buck, in a year, a few years time. It's weird. It's very weird. And like I said, there's grown ass adults out here fighting in Costco's and Targets and.
Go for it.
Whoa. Really?
Oh, dude.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, come on, bro.
Thank you. That's ridiculous.
I got one.
I got.
You know what's bad when the Pokemon cards are locked up next to the cigarettes in Walmart. That's crazy. That's wild. That's unnecessary, right? That's absurd. It's a card game. It shouldn't be like that. Scalpers in general are trash. You'll notice though, even when the PS5s dropped, oh man. For one, that drop was so trash. You had to be on Twitter, and Walmart released theirs early, so it just messed up the entire system. But those were going like crazy, and people will buy them. People will buy them at scalper prices. That's why I say never pay anything above MSRP. For the prices of what prismatic evolutions are going for, I wouldn't pay anything above that, because you may or may not make your money back on that. I lucked out. I got lucky, and that's why they call it gambling for children, because it's not guaranteed. Who creates the value of the market? Because we look at these packs and we think of the rarities of these cards. Rarities based off prints, and that's what drives a lot of demand for certain things. When you think of Magic the Gathering, you think of like the Black Lotus? If I'm not mistaken, the Black Lotus. That card is one of the most expensive cards still to this day, but that's just living on a lot of the nostalgia of what collecting and trading cards was back in the day when we used to do it as children. And now we are still children collecting these cards. We're just a lot bigger and have bills. The same can be said about Lego sets. If you've ever gone to a Walmart, you'll notice that all the Lego sets are locked up. One thing that I've been practicing with, and I mentioned this also on a previous stream, one thing that I've been practicing on this channel is delayed gratification. So an example is I'll get a box, like my Digimon box is coming in on Saturday. So what will happen is I'll get a box, and it's like, man, I want to open it, but I know I stream on Wednesday, and I know I need this for content on Wednesday. So I will wait and wait and wait until the day that I'm going to use it for a stream. Even when I was a kid, I used to want to open my packs in the car before getting home, the ones that my mom would buy me. Not only is it the FOMO, but we also want that immediate dopamine hit, which is another reason why it is gambling. When you're looking at the ways to correct or fix this, you got to look at and remember the joy behind it. For me, the joy is being able to crack packs open and seeing what you get. Or if I'm building a computer, the joy is being able to get the parts I need and plugging things up and making sure they work. I think it's really hard for people to have that joy just out of being able to purchase something and keeping it on a shelf sealed. I think that is ridiculous. The counter argument is when you're thinking in investment terms, sealed product usually keeps its value much more than open or singles. You don't know what's in that box, so you have a box. You have a box. If this was sealed, you don't know what's in this box. You don't know if you have any hits. There's no fun in buying this and having it sit on the shelf. I think that's about it on my rant on what's gone wrong in Pokemon and just about any other hobby. Is when people want to make a quick buck on it, it really destroys the fun and access for everyone else who wants to do it for the fun or do it for playing the game or whatever it may be. You know, it takes away from the hobbyist and enthusiast, and it just goes straight to the capitalist and resellers, and that's weird. That's weirdo behavior, because a lot of these people, they have a lot more buying power, if you will. You know, you can't outbuy someone who has 10 grand of dispensable income to spend on strictly Pokemon cards. Hell, I walk into a store, my little $30, and I'm happy to come out with a 10. May not get back any money, but that's cool, because it's not about that. It's, I don't know. So I'm glad you guys were able to join and see what I had to offer. We opened up some Pokemon. We talked crap on Pokemon collectors. Well, we talked crap on scalpers. Let's not talk crap on collectors, because I respect people who got in early and who did it the right way. You know, back in 98, 99, when all this stuff was new to the West. So, yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of events that are coming up. There's of course, Comic-Cons, there's Collecticons, all these things that encourage people to start collecting. And I think it's great for people to start collecting and getting out there, but I want people to be able to do it and have fun doing it and not have the FOMO and not have all of these things, because if your hobbies are creating anxiety within yourself, then you got to ask yourself if it's truly worth it at that point. With that said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm Crash Collision, Malcolm Eugene on YouTube and everywhere else. You know, show love to the Instagram, all the things. I'm glad you guys came out here and kicked it with me today. Next week, we'll be back on our regular scheduled programming. I do have gloves and I still have the scissors, so don't worry about that. Yeah. We're gonna keep things going.